Welcome back. Now, joining me in the studio is the Shadow Chancellor, John McDonnell. Hello, thank you for being with us. Before we move on to the other issues, I'm quite keen to get your thoughts on the report we just watched about anti-Semitism within the Labour Party, or allegations of it. And I was really struck when speaking to some of the Jewish community that they feel almost a sense of personal betrayal, that Labour is a party that they felt allied to for many decades.
It was their party.
Yeah, it was their party, and now they feel that that's changed. Do you think they have a point?
Well, it's a tragedy. It's absolute tragedy. I could weep about it. I really could, because I've spoken to a number of those people as well. And the other tragedy is we're now led by someone who's possibly one of the most foremost anti-racist campaigners that we've had in our political history. His parents met, Jeremy Corbyn's parents met in the Cable Street campaign, which was to defend the Jewish community against the fascists. And so I think we've got to open the dialogue again and overcome these problems. And I believe our party, and I don't believe in being complacent about this. I believe our party is still the anti-racist party that I joined. I think there's anti-Semitism in our community, and it will pervade all our institutions, and we've got to root it out. The shock for me is the figures last year: 1,300 anti-Semitic incidents, hate crimes reported across our whole community. Now, Labour should be at the forefront of confronting that. Instead, we're involved in this internal examination and exploration of what's been going on in the last 12 months around Ken Livingstone. We've got to close that down and move on.
With Ken Livingstone, and I'm interested in your own personal view here, not the sort of party line.
I understand.
Do you think he should have been expelled from the party?
Look, Ken Livingstone last year, I made it clear to him he should have apologised immediately.
And he didn't.
He didn't.
He went on and repeated.
And I was quite angry about that. I've known Ken. I was his deputy on the GRC. We've worked together. We've fallen out a number of times as well. But I'm always straight with him. He should have apologised. This came about because my parliamentary private secretary, Naz Shah, made a statement which was appalling about sending Jews from Israel to America. I immediately asked her to stand down, and she did. What did she do? She apologised immediately, realised the mistake that she'd made and was shocked by it, apologised immediately, met the Jewish community, and has been applauded since for learning the lesson. That's what I want Ken to do. There's a thing within the Jewish faith that was transferred into the Christian religion, which is honest contrition, followed by forgiveness and reconciliation. That's what I wanted to happen. That's what I want to happen now, quite honestly.
So I'm still a bit unclear, though. Do you think he should have been expelled? Because he hasn't apologised, has he?
I think people are surprised at what happened out of the hearings that took place. I'd like to know what legal advice was provided. What will now happen is that the NEC will consider this matter again, and there'll be further consideration of the matter. I'm not saying anything now that will prejudge that or prejudice what will come out of it. Okay. But my advice to Ken again, I say this as an old ally of his, apologise. This argument about historical fact is not the issue. The issue is you deployed it to justify what was an anti-Semitic statement by Naz Shah. Just apologise now. And I tell you, Jewish members of the community will accept contrition and will forgive and move on. But until we get some form of apology, I don't think we can. And the behaviour of the last week, it's hard to come to terms with. We've got to get out there as a party now campaigning against racism in our society. Anti-Semitism on the rise, which is appalling, but also only a month ago, a few weeks ago, 30 people pounced upon a young asylum seeker and nearly kicked him to death. Our party should be leading the campaign to tackle racism in our society, and we've been diverted into this, and we've got to re-establish our credentials as an anti-racist party.
Now,